Kansas City, are you okay? It's a question we ask our friends and coworkers. Maybe you just ask it casually, but maybe you're not always ready for an honest answer.
Or ready to give an honest answer sometimes, too. For the next few days, we're looking at how different groups in our community are working to address mental health issues. They can have an extra level of complication for people of faith. Some version of "you need to pray about it" can become the driving thought too often, either from the person struggling or people around them. I went to speak to a couple of past guests of my Faith in KC podcast about what to do when prayer doesn't seem to cut it.
Prayer is helpful, we know that, but also there's some things that you need extra help with, and we're not supposed to be ashamed of those things.
Bobby Jo Reed knows about help. She knows about shame, too. Many in Kansas City are familiar with her story, battling addiction and homelessness at an early age, to today, where Healing House, the organization that she founded, helps hundreds of people escape those same things. She is almost daily an answer to someone else's prayer.
When you hear that I'm a mental health champion, what do you think of?
To me, when you're a champion, you're doing something to bring others along with you.
That includes connecting people with help and praying for them at the same time.
People of faith even can go through mental health struggles, and that's not because you're bad. That's not because you're doing something wrong or you don't have enough faith. We all have brokenness, and we all have things we need to heal from.
Pastor Darren Edwards of United Believers Community Church couldn't wait to talk to me about the intersection of theology and therapy.
Take it to the Lord in prayer.
I was going to ask you about just pray about it.
Yeah, and just kind of pray about it and leave it there. But what we discovered is that a lot of people have deeper issues that they really need to talk about.
And Edwards is practicing what he preaches.
I have a white Jewish lady that I go to that nobody else knows, where I can just go and be myself and talk about the issues of my life.
This Sunday, his church is hosting a mental health event, trying to start the conversation about how people of faith can do more than pray. They're partnering with Rediscover to provide a trained therapist at the church once a month.
Do you think or hope that there will be people that say for the first time, I'm going to go talk to somebody?
I know for a fact that there will be first-time goers. They're already pre-signing up.
Bobby Jo Reed knows that conversations like those can keep people from falling into the darkest moments of their lives.
You know what? I am a full believer in God, in Jesus Christ, and I put all my hope in Him, that's for sure. I am not so staunch in my faith that I don't believe God uses doctors and medication as part of our healing journey.
So my sincere thanks to Bobby Jo and Pastor Darren for their thoughts on this topic. There are a lot of follow-up questions that you may have after that kind of story. I've done my best to include a lot of them on this story on KSHB.com. The link's up right now. You will find links to both my podcast episodes with Darren and Bobby Jo and a link to the documentary about Bobby Jo's story. There's a full hour-and-a-half movie about her story, and links to Darren's church and to Healing House, her organization. There's also a link to Rediscover, the agency that's partnering with Darren's church to provide therapy services. That was a really interesting thing, and I talked to Rediscover too. That's going to be something they hope to continue for quite a while, and that does not cost anything for people that go and sit down. It's not necessarily full-on therapy sessions, but it's kind of a, let me sit down, talk with you. Okay, this is what I think you might consider doing if you have insurance, that kind of thing. People have never really thought about, how do I go about therapy? These are kind of guided conversations. Let me listen to what you've got going on by a trained professional, and then let me tell you what there is to do.
That's a really important conversation because, I believe in the power of prayer. Prayer is really important in my life. You don't want to be dismissive when you tell someone, have you prayed about it? Like,
correct.
And might not need to do anything else.
And that's it, right. And Bobby Jo is so much, like, she was very big on talking to me about where addiction fits into the mental health conversation too, because so many of the people that she works with on a regular basis are dealing with some form of addiction and trying to climb out of that, which is a whole other element of what mental health is. Absolutely. You can find more of our coverage for Mental Health Awareness Month on our website right now at kshb.com.